Hello everybody, welcome back to Utah Trikes. I'm Garrett, and today we've got an amazing new motor and gearing pair to show you guys today. This combo features a familiar 250 watt motor with an all-new smart gearing system in the rear. Today we'll be going in depth on this combo, along with the ICE Sprint X Tour trike that we have installed on today. And later I'll be taking it out for a ride to get a feel for how such a unique gearing matchup changes how it rides. Have you ever been tired of manually shifting through gears, constantly adjusting your tempo and gear ratios just to be tired out by the end of your ride? Well, that's where this Enviolo N380 CVP internally geared hub with an automatic with a Q shifting comes into play. This is an internally geared hub that comes installed in the rear wheel to your trike. This replaces the rear cassette with a smart automatically shifting transmission. On the average internally geared drivetrain, the hub would take the gears from your cassette and put them inside of the wheel hub, making it a self-contained system while still receiving input from the chain. It also features many of the benefits that standard internally geared hubs provide, such as low maintenance gearing because of its self-contained and protect internal system, and the ability to shift while coasting or stopped, making starting again after a stop a lot easier. But where the Enviolo hub differs is that there are no actual gears within the hub at all. As you pedal, you can adjust the resistance to match your cadence. It is artificially replacing the effects of shifting gears. Inside of the hub, there are rotating balls that over its ratio range permit an infinite number of ratios. As the input ring applies more pressure to the balls, the output ring increases its perceived ratio, thus making your wheels spin faster. This steel ball system allows for a smooth shifting feel with no jarring jumps between gears. And with the electronic automatic shifter, this becomes even smoother without even needing to manually adjust the hub. So much so that when you come to a stop, it automatically shifts down, making it so that when you start again, you aren't starting back up in your highest gear. Much like a CVT in a car, this hub adjusts its gearing based on the speed and the input from the motor, allowing you, the rider, to keep a consistent cadence without the need to shift. The Enviolo hub features a stepless shifting system, meaning it has no set gears, but instead smoothly transitions from its lowest ratio to its highest ratio without a hitch. With its ability to sense your cadence, it is constantly adjusting to your terrain to keep your cadence as consistent as possible. This internally geared hub and automatic shifter come paired with the Shimano Steps EP8 electric assist motor. The Shimano Steps EP8 utilizes a torque sensor, which measures the amount of pressure applied to the pedals and adjusts the assist accordingly. When you pedal harder, it's shifting into higher gears to give you the correct amount of resistance and rotations per minute. The amount of power you need to put into pedaling is decided by which of the three assisted modes you're in. The assist modes are Eco, Trail, and Boost. Which mode you choose will affect how much power is added to your pedal stroke and ultimately the speed and range you'll get. And with an output at 85 Newton meters of torque and a large 630 watt-hour battery, the console claims that you can reach a distance of 110 miles on Eco, 55 miles on Trail, and 36 on Boost with a full charge. And being a Class 1 motor, this means that the motor will match your pedaling efforts up to 20 miles per hour. The Shimano Step system is an OEM-only setup. That means it can only be installed when you order the trike from the factory. The Step systems are offered by ICE, HP, and AZUBs on factory builds, and there are no retrofit options available from Shimano as of right now. So, if you're interested in getting this combo, request it specifically when you order your trike. Today we're featuring this combo installed on the ICE Sprint X Tour, which we haven't really talked on this channel before, but it's an awesome sporty touring trike. ICE has 4 models of road riding trikes that all fall on a scale from racing to tour style, the VTX being at the top of the racing scale. This is a very light and agile trike with a low swung hang that is built for speed. And at the touring end, there's the ICE Adventure, which is a heavier and wider trike with a higher set seat that is built for more comfort and more relaxed riding. In between those two, there's the Sprint X, which is closer to the VTX in design, but higher off the ground and with less harsh of a position. It still features the hard shell seat and the 700C thin rear wheel. This is a sportier trike with some of the tour quality of life features that make it more user-friendly. And then lastly, closer to the Adventure is the Sprint X Tour, which is the trike we are riding today. This is similar to the Sprint X, but it has the Schwalbe Road Cruiser wider tires and a higher set seat, making a good mediary between the speed-oriented and comfort-oriented trike. The Sprint X Tour comes with a stock 26-inch road cruiser tire in the rear and two 20-inch tires in the front. When ordering your X Tour, there's a few suspension options you can include, those being rigid, partial, or full suspension like the trike we have here today. And like the X Adventure, it has the quality of life feature of having a folding frame. This is called the compact flat twist fold system. It stores the rear wheel in between the two front wheels to minimize volume and increase storage capability. The Sprint X Tour also features ICE's indirect steering geometry, providing a well-controlled and natural riding experience. On top of the motor and automatic shifter, we also have a few other additions to the trike that are worth mentioning, like the clamp-on wrist rest, adjustable neck rest, and upgraded Avid BB7 disc brakes. So, my first thought when using an automatic hub was that it'd be great for a commuter bike. So I decided to try and simulate my commute back and forth from the shop by doing a 20-mile round trip. Before that though, there's another feature of the automatic shifter that I need to set up. The automatic shifter comes with app pairing capability with the Enviolo Automatiq app. It's what it's called on the App Store, and it's a little important that you set it up before you ride. I'll admit, when I first hopped on this trike in the parking lot, I thought the resistance was too little and the riding was too easy. So I was a little disappointed, but then I remembered that the app existed for the Enviolo hub, and after I had set it up properly, the trike felt exactly how I imagined. I'll teach you guys how to get yourself set up, and then we can get out on my commute to and from work. So, first things first, you're going to need to download the app on your phone. The Enviolo Automatiq app is available on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Once downloaded, you'll be greeted with a connection screen that should be empty. To fix this, go ahead and turn on the system for your trike with the power button on the battery. After this, the device may show up on your app to connect. But if not, make your way to the shifter on the side of the rear wheel and find the white button on the side. Once found, hold it down until it starts flashing and enters pair mode. It should then appear on your app to connect. When you are connected, there's still some setup you need to do. So hop on your trike with your phone in hand and head to the settings on the app. Once there, hit the Calibrate Automatic button that should be at the bottom of the settings page. Then make sure you find a fairly large stretch of road that you can ride on for about 20 seconds and start your calibration. All you need to do is pedal at a continuous pace until it confirms you have finished calibration. Once calibrated, just head to the Preferences tab at the bottom of the screen, and with this simple UI, you can adjust the slider on the screen to match your comfortable cadence. I took mine out for an easy ride with phone in hand in our parking lot, adjusting as I went to find the perfect cadence for my riding style. Now that we're all set up, let's head out and start this ride. All right, so we got the ICE Sprint X Tour here. We're gonna actually take it out on the town today and see what it would be like to commute a commuting distance. We're actually gonna go out about 10 miles out, which is about the equivalent distance from my house to the shop here. And then we'll drive 10 miles back and see how it shakes out in some light back roads and some street roads as well. We've got the Steps EP8 on the front, and we've got the Enviolo Automatic Shifting Hub in the rear. So we should kind of see some really easy riding, no shifting needed, tons of power. We'll have plenty of battery life for the ride we're going to be doing. So let's get in and get going. Now's the time where I get to tell you guys about my experience riding this trike and my unfiltered opinions. One of the biggest things I noticed while on my ride was that I didn't need to push as hard as I normally would on another trike, and that the system itself kept my cadence consistent through the entire ride. We're just chilling at like 18 miles an hour, like keeping my cadence up. The Enviolo hub is just adjusting straight to it. So, as I was riding, I wasn't necessarily pushing myself to exhaustion, but still getting the exercise out of it. The Shimano EP8 and the Enviolo Automatiq are the reasons behind these quality of life additions. The Shimano EP8 has a very natural pedal assist that makes sure you're pedaling comfortably no matter the speed. The torque sensor is responsive, and the hub is like
either there or half a second away from being right there.
And by taking away the cumbersome gear shifting of a normal trike and instead slowly ramping up the output ratio to increase your speed while keeping your cadence the exact same. The Enviolo hub was hardly noticeable at all, except for once or twice when the hub did not shift down when I had come to a complete stop. There's maybe one instance where it didn't seem to register that I had stopped completely, but all it took was to push a little bit until it sent some torque output for it to shift down and become easy to pedal again.
Every once in a while, if you're like stopped for a while, it kind of doesn't want to shift down, so you gotta kind of push it, but then the motor will catch it.
With Bafang motors, you can feel when the motor catches and starts assisting. But with the combination of this motor and the hub, it eases you into it and makes it feel natural. The only times it didn't feel as natural was when I was trying to get up to speed by pedaling faster than my normal cadence.
And we're pushing 20 miles an hour. Definitely cuts on the assist once you get to that 20-mile mark.
In these instances, it didn't feel like it was matching my input and instead was speeding up at a consistent rate, despite my attempt to pedal faster to increase acceleration. When shifting manually on any other trike, you get the hit of resistance every time you shift gears. And you can kind of tell when you're going faster as it gets easier to pedal in each gear. But with the Enviolo Automatiq, it's just smooth. There's no jumping of gears, and it's constantly just the same resistance. So if you're into more of a leisurely ride and would like a smooth ramp all the way up to 18 miles per hour without really breaking a sweat, this motor and shifter combo is a really good contender. You normally get up to speed by shifting up through the gears, but with the automatic shifting, I would just have to pedal consistently and I'd already be at my maximum speed. No hassle with shifting gears and waiting for things to change. It didn't feel like I was going faster because there wasn't that manual shift, but I was obviously going much faster at a much smoother pace. It was pretty much effortless, and I kind of just forgot that it was there, besides the thought of, oh, I just need to keep pedaling consistently. It's really nice just not having to think about shifting, and it really makes for a relaxing ride.
The like 10-mile mark. I'm still chilling.
For 90% of the ride, I was on boost, because in a commuting scenario, I figured I'd be wanting to get to work in a timely and effortless manner. Going 20 miles on this riding mode only took me down 1 bar, leaving me very confident that if this was to be used on a longer commute, it would be completely fine, even at its most energy-intensive mode.
And if you're charging the battery every night, you could probably make this thing to work and back pretty easy.
The suspension was very cushiony. There was basically little to no road vibration, and I was even hitting a couple potholes in the road with the back tire, and I didn't get absolutely crushed like I would on a regular bike.
And as a note, all right, I was filming the whole thing on our film rig that has no suspension, and the roads were awful. Ton of potholes, it sucked, and I felt every single bump. So the fact that he didn't feel anything is kind of astonishing, and I'm kind of jealous.
Thanks, Davey. The hub itself doesn't even feel like it's there. It's a very interesting feeling because you pedal at a consistent rate and end up going faster. It's a lot sportier than the Adventure. The Adventure feels like an incredibly casual trike in comparison, although its focus is comfort. But the Sprint is both comfortable and really sporty. I compared it to a luxury sports car instead of something like you would take on a road trip.
Feels like driving like a bit of a softer Corvette or sports car of some sort. It's really like that step up and sportier feel from like an Adventure.
If I had to personally choose which I prefer, automatic or manual, it would have to depend on the use case. If I were doing long distance with a lot of hills, I'd prefer manual, because as I get tired, I can adjust the gear I'm in. But for casual touring, I can't see why an automatic hub wouldn't be a great option. However, for reference, I do daily drive a manual car, so I'm a little biased and maybe a little old-fashioned. But every once in a while, it's genuinely nice to get into an automatic drivetrain and just cruise. Overall, this trike is extremely comfortable to ride and is great for when you want to hop on and just get on the road or trail. Now, at this point in the video, you may be thinking, Garrett, this trike is cool and all, but how much exactly does this whole trike cost? Well, let me help break it down for you before I tell you how much this one costs to build. So, the ICE Sprint X Tour in its base format starts at $4,502. That is with a rigid frame, meaning no suspension and the stock gearing. The ICE Sprint X Tour that I rode is pretty decked out. And with ICE's trikes, many of the foundational upgrades absolutely have to be optioned out when purchasing the trike. The main upgrades are going to be the front and rear suspension options, the Steps EP8 motor, and the Enviolo Automatiq HUB. These upgrades cannot be added on later, so make sure if you want these options on your trike to order it with the trike. Now, to upgrade the front suspension, it's going to cost you $965, and the rear suspension will cost you $946. These options will slightly modify the shape of your frame and give you an incredibly soft and adjustable independent suspension system that can be set to your preference. Next, we have the EP8, which is our electric motor that will go in place of our crankset. The motor will come with a custom boom, battery, console, and wiring, and everything you need to get the whole system running. That will set you back about $3,773 total. The final piece of this build is the Enviolo Automatiq HUB. The whole kit will include the Enviolo hub with the wheel built in, the automatic shifter, and the tensioner for the chain. The whole kit will set you back $1,462. With all of these foundational upgrades, this combo will come in at a combined $11,650. And this is what the bulk of this trike's performance is built on. On top of the base upgrades, this trike specifically that I rode had a couple of extra quality of life upgrades. We upgraded the stock drum brakes to the Avid BB7 disc brakes, which is another upgrade you'll want to do before you order the trike. We also added a rear fender, a rear disc parking brake, the ICE cushioned wrist rests, upgraded Ergolux seat, adjustable neck rest, and a mirror. With all these accessories, our trike came out to about $12,800. These upgrades aren't necessary, but they really improve the experience of riding by adding more comfort and safety while still leaving room for more accessories. And that's been our in-depth look at the ICE Sprint X Tour with the Enviolo Automatiq HUB and the Steps EP8 motor. It's an amazing trike combo that is perfect for a commute or really any amount of riding. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We hope you guys like us detailing these more custom builds. Let us know what you would like to see us highlight in the next video in the comments below. If you have any more questions or are curious about this trike build, you can email us at trikes@UTCustom, and we would be glad to give you a hand. For those of you interested in this trike here, we will leave the link for the quote of this build in the description below. And in the meantime, remember to relax, spin fast, and ride trikes. See you guys next time. Next, we have the EP8 motor, which is going to be our motor. Wow, it definitely is going to be our motor. It sure is. And in the meantime, definitely remember, I remember. I know a lot of you were actually like, hey, you guys don't wear helmets when you ride, but well, I got it this time. I did it. Took me getting a helmet to make him wear a helmet. Everything that needs to get the trike motor run. Wow. I just brain farted hard. Despite one or two cases, the hub was at the correct resistance depending on how fast I was goating. The goat.
Homework ahead. I sure hope it does.
So, hop on your phone. Yeah, just hop right on your phone. Not your trike, just your phone. Text it while drive, definitely. The cops love that when you do that.
Work ahead, I sure hope it does.
Shoo! Shoo!
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap. That's my thing.
This is your thing.
That's a wrap.
Yeah.